On the distant, uncharted planet of Ethera, life had evolved to be as unique as it was dangerous. The planet, located on the fringes of the known galaxy, was a place where towering fungi spread across the landscape like a living forest, and strange, luminescent creatures flitted through the air in shimmering swarms. The indigenous species, the Treliths, were small, agile, and incredibly intelligent, capable of blending seamlessly into the environment with their chameleon-like abilities. Yet, despite their natural talents, they had never before encountered a threat quite like the humans. The Treliths had lived in peace for centuries, isolated from the larger galactic community. Their world, abundant with natural resources and hidden in the outermost reaches of the galaxy, had been left largely unspoiled until the humans arrived. The first human ship to land on Ethera had done so by accident. A group of explorers, searching for new sources of energy, had stumbled upon the planet during a routine expedition. They quickly discovered that Ethera was rich in energy resources that humans coveted. The Treliths, however, saw the humans as a threat, and the brief encounter had ended badly. The humans had unwittingly set off a chain reaction of destruction, causing a massive upheaval in the ecosystem. One Trelith, a young girl named Lyri, was the only one to survive the humans' destructive arrival. Her people had hidden themselves deep within the planet's lush forests, but Lyri was different. She had been fascinated by the human explorers from the moment they had first arrived. When the conflict began and her people fled into hiding, Lyri had been left behind. Alone, Lyri sought refuge in a secret human shelter that the explorers had set up when they first landed, an underground bunker designed to survive the harsh conditions of the planet's surface. The shelter was meant for exploration purposes, equipped with food, air filtration systems, and an array of tools for surviving the planet's volatile weather patterns. Lyri had found the shelter abandoned but fully stocked, its power still active, and she had been able to survive there for several months, adapting to the human technology and learning the basics of its operation. Though she had never been seen by the humans, she knew the consequences of her discovery. The human explorers were ruthless in their pursuit of resources, and if they discovered her, they would likely treat her as a mere obstacle. Lyri had learned to blend in, making herself as invisible as possible, carefully keeping out of sight whenever humans returned to the shelter for supplies or maintenance. The shelter, once a symbol of human dominance on the planet, had become her sanctuary, though it was an uneasy one. Ethan Marshall had been part of the original exploration crew that had landed on Ethera years earlier. But when things had gone south and the conflict with the Treliths had escalated, he had been part of the last group to leave the planet. The mission had been marked a failure, and he had gone on to other assignments, though the memories of Ethera lingered in his mind. The human presence on the planet had ended, or so he thought. When Ethan was given a new assignment, a final cleanup mission on the planet to assess any remaining resources, he was less than thrilled. He had long since put the mission behind him, but duty called. Little did he know that his return would set off a chain of events that would forever alter his understanding of life on Ethera. Ethan's shuttle descended into the planet's atmosphere, the familiar red landscape stretching out beneath him. The wreckage of the old base came into view. It had been abandoned for years, the metallic structures now overrun by the relentless growth of Ethera's bioluminescent flora. He landed in the same clearing where he had once set foot as an explorer, now eerily silent. He made his way into the shelter, the familiar sounds of machinery hums welcoming him. The shelter was as he remembered, bare, yet equipped for long-term habitation. The only difference now was the quiet, the eerie silence that had settled over the place, a sense of something watching him that he couldn't quite shake. He moved through the halls, inspecting the old equipment and cataloging what remained. But as he approached the control room, something strange caught his attention. The power was still on, anomalously so. The power grid was not in disrepair. His curiosity piqued. Ethan began checking the systems. That's when he noticed it, a strange presence in the air filtration logs. The shelter systems had been accessed in the recent past, but not by any authorized human signatures. He froze. Was someone here? He scanned the shelter carefully, trying to find the source of the anomaly. The tension in the air thickened as the hairs on the back of his neck stood on end. He felt it, the presence of someone or something else in the shelter with him. But when he turned around, there was nothing there. Lyri had been watching Ethan ever since he had landed. The human's presence was unsettling, but there was something about him, his cautious movements, the way he seemed aware of his surroundings, and yet unaware of her, that made her hesitate. For the first time since she had taken refuge in the shelter, she had a choice: stay hidden or reveal herself to this human. But revealing herself was dangerous. The other humans had been ruthless. They had not hesitated to destroy the planet, to disrupt her people's way of life. How could she trust him? Yet, as Ethan moved further into the shelter, something inside her shifted. The urge to stay hidden was strong, but she knew she couldn't remain in the shadows forever. Lyri's small frame appeared silently behind one of the shelter's control panels. Ethan froze as her soft voice, like a whisper of wind, echoed in the room. "You found me?" Ethan spun around, heart pounding in his chest. There, standing before him, was the source of the strange readings. A small, alien girl, no taller than his knee, with shimmering, silvery skin and eyes that gleamed like stars. You're the last one?" Ethan stammered, his mind racing. "You survived?" Lyri nodded, her eyes filled with both fear and curiosity. "I survived because I hid. I watched you. Watch your kind destroy my world." Ethan's heart sank. He had never intended for any of this to happen. The destruction of Ethera was a result of a failed mission, a mistake, but the cost had been so much greater than he had realized. A bond, unspoken yet undeniable, began to form between them, the weight of their shared history heavy in the silence. Ethan knelt down, his gaze softening as he met Lyri's eyes. "I didn't know. I didn't understand what we were doing to your people," he said quietly. For the first time, Lyri let down her guard. Her voice was low, filled with cautious hope. Maybe you can fix it. Maybe you can help me." As the days passed, Ethan and Lyri began to communicate, learning more about each other's cultures and the planet that had once been home to Lyri's people. Ethan realized that there was still time to make things right. With Lyri's help, he could learn how to repair the damage, restore Ethera to its original state, and perhaps even find a way to communicate with the remaining Treliths. But what began as an unexpected discovery turned into something more profound. A partnership built on the idea that healing could start with a single connection, a human and an alien working together to restore peace and balance on a planet they had both lost.